It's been a long time since we talked about TJ Holmes and I guess the mistress and his co-anchor, Good Morning America 3 co-host, Amy Robach. Well, a lot has transpired over the holidays, including them being cited together for one of the rare times since the news broke that they both were having an alleged affair. I don't know if we can call it alleged. They're still married. All of you have very different opinions on what's considered an affair. Is it considered an affair if they're still married, although they're separated? We can fight about it in the comment section. Not only were they photographed, TJ Holmes filed for divorce. No, not his wife, Marilee Fiebig. TJ Holmes filed for divorce this past Wednesday. Welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Of course, still live here from Copenhagen, Denmark. A lot is happening, and if you follow me on social media, you've seen some of my pictures, you've seen some of the videos, you've seen some of my frustrations. Shout out to all of you that were liking and getting Delta to move along. My baggage is now with me, but I'll talk more about that in the Kempire Radio podcast. So stay tuned for that episode at the top of the new year. I hope you guys are having a fantastic holiday season. So apparently, TJ Holmes and Amy Robach are not having the best holiday season, although they are still fighting for their love. The two were recently spotted at an Atlanta airport together for the holidays. So this is what they're reporting. Our friends over at Yahoo report this as Amy Robach and TJ Holmes are getting out of town. The GMA3 anchors were photographed together at Atlanta's International Airport on Monday. In photos obtained by the Daily Mail, Holmes, 45, walked with his arm around his girlfriend. Holmes and Robach's getaway comes as sources tell Yahoo Entertainment that the two, quote, have nothing to hide with their relationship. They are going strong despite everything, the insider close to the couple adds. Everything likely refers to the intense scrutiny the journalists have faced over their relationship. Mind you, these two have not returned to Good Morning America 3 since all of this broke out. So just a reminder on how all this played out. So the news, the Daily Mail had gotten photographs of the two and exposed pretty much their relationship, even though both of them are still legally married to their spouses. When that information came out, they both were still on Good Morning America 3. It worked out. TJ Holmes ended up hosting one day without Amy there, but then Amy did come on the next episode and she was there together. Their jokes, their chemistry, all the videos that have been surfacing, everyone's like, oh, we should have known. Oh, we should have known. We should have known. So Robach, who's 49, and Holmes' romance was revealed last month after the Daily Mail posted photos of the Good Morning America reporters getting cozy outside of work. Both have been married to other people since 2010. But Yahoo was told Robach and Holmes separated from their respective spouses, actor Andrew Shue and attorney Marilee Fiebig, over the summer. I find it interesting, though, that TJ Holmes is the one that has filed for divorce, especially because his wife, Marilee, is an attorney. She could be figuring out the proper divorce attorney in this situation. Maybe. Holmes and Robach went on to host GMA3, the popular afternoon spinoff, one day after their alleged affair made headlines. Neither addressed the brewing scandal, but they got yanked off the air the following week. ABC News President Kim Godwin told employees during an editorial call on December 5th that while Holmes and Robach's consensual relationship, quote, is not a violation of company policy, the network had to work through what's best for the company and what's best for Good Morning America's image. This is not good for their image, and I really do not see TJ Holmes and Amy returning both together on Good Morning America 3. I would be very surprised. I think they're more concerned, ABC and Disney are more concerned with keeping their Good Morning America image clean. Even though this is the third hour, no, this is all together. I don't see TJ Holmes returning. As you know, there have been affairs that have been coming out that TJ has had with a former Good Morning America producer. Apparently, there was another relationship. So during this time off, ABC News allegedly has been investigating to make sure that this relationship did not violate any company policies and that there weren't other issues where TJ may have abused his power as an anchor. You also may recall, I'm just refreshing your elephant brains on this. There was a rumor that several years ago, back in 2017, Robin Roberts allegedly confronted the two about rumors about their relationship. So this was years ago. Years ago. After that, in 2020, TJ Holmes went to social media and proclaimed his love for Marilee Fiebig, his current wife, and said, I don't know how you stayed with me 10 minutes, 10 days, 10 hours, 10 months, 10 weeks. It's the power of you being a wonderful black woman.
And why am I in it?
And you could have did it.
See how I get wrong because you never apologized.
Anyways, I'm just giving you a full update because it's been a long time since we talked about TJ Holmes and Amy Robach. And if you missed my episode of Hey Amy on the Kempire Radio podcast, shameless plug, but it's worth listening to because I did not talk about it on any other platform except on the podcast about the rumors about Amy Robach and her time at NBC News. Hey Amy.
Women.
So Us Weekly's reporting, and all the media outlets are reporting this week, that TJ Holmes has filed for divorce. They wrote this. Holmes, 45, filed for divorce from his wife in New York City on Wednesday, December 28th, according to documents obtained by Us Weekly. They said that their split comes 4 weeks after the journalist was photographed getting close to Robach on various outings in November. In one photo, as you may recall, published by the Daily Mail on November 30th, the pair can be seen holding hands in a car. In another, the twosome were enjoying drinks at a bar in New York City. Like, they were very public with the situation, which is dumbfounding to me, or maybe just dumb. They say this, they always had a spark and their work trips away together brought them even closer, a source exclusively told Us Weekly about Robach and Holmes, adding that their relationship, quote, blossomed from a close friendship. The insider noted that the two have been trying to keep their relationship a secret until they were ready to announce. They really were not trying that hard. Because my thing is here, if you were really trying to keep this relationship a secret, you would not be in public canoodling. You would not be in the back of a car holding hands. And I get it. You're probably thinking no one can see. And they probably be like, oh, especially being journalists. This is not new to us that these paparazzi have lenses that can see through walls, basically. But they were so caught up in their love. All right. So Robach and Holmes have been working together since fall of 2020. When they were tapped to headline GMA3, What You Need to Know. Both anchors were married at the time, and the pictures made headlines, though neither have publicly commented on them. Us Weekly did reach out to their representatives for comment. 3 years after he split from his ex-wife, Amy Furson, with whom he shares a daughter, Brianna, who's 28. Damn, he's got a 28-year-old. And a son, Jaden. Holmes married Fiebig. So he has 2 other kids with another wife, all right? They welcomed daughter Sabine in January of 2013. She's about to be 9 years old. No, she's about to be 10 years old. Sorry. And the Arkansas native has frequently gushed about life as a family man over the years. At one point, this is what TJ says. He says, my family and I are closer. My individual net worth has gone up every year since we met. I've learned a second language. I'm healthier. I use the N-word less. I listen to Sunday church service more. I'm a better friend. I'm more forgiving than I used to be. I'm more involved in charitable work. Holmes wrote in a letter feature on theroot.com in March of 2014. In every way, I'm better off because I'm married. So for me, a successful marriage has revolved around this principle. I like who I am with her. So they say that the CNN correspondent echoed these sentiments 6 years later while reflecting on his marriage to Fiebig in their 10th anniversary post. And that I mentioned to you before about the 10 years. He said this. This is exactly what he said. Asking her for another 10 years would be asking too much. Another 10 months, that may even be a stretch. If she gave me another 10 weeks, I should consider myself lucky. If she puts up with me another 10 days, I'd be grateful. He joked via Facebook in March of 2020. But he says, but if she could even spare another 10 minutes of her time for me today, I should consider myself blessed. Can we use this in court? Probably not. Probably not. So Robach, for her part, Amy Robach, she married Andrew Shue in 2010, 2 years after her split from her husband, Tim McIntosh. The timing on this situation is a little questionable because I've seen other articles where they say that these two got together in 2009, her relationship with her other. So Amy's history is not so clear. All right? Allegedly. With whom she shares with Tim McIntosh daughters, Ava, who's 19, and Annalise, who's 16. The 2020 co-anchor also became a stepmother to the Melrose Place alums kids, Nate, Aiden, and Wyatt, from his previous marriage to Jennifer Haganey. They do not have children together. The last we reported, they already had sold their Manhattan apartment that they had together here. Here's what is so crazy to me. This didn't have to play out the way that this played out. Obviously, they were exposed by the Daily Mail discovering their relationship and then putting it out there. But again, they did not do a lot to hide this relationship. But if they really valued their relationships, their children, and their jobs, they could have played this out differently. They could have filed for divorce, let that play out, and then went public with their relationship. And then people probably still would question, did they cheat on each other? Well, now they're divorced. People still are defending them, saying, well, they're separated. Look, yes, they're separated. Relationships aren't ideal. They don't always work out the way that we planned them to work out. However, I do feel like these people, these anchors, they were not smart. They were not smart, which is a liability for a platform like Good Morning America, a liability for ABC News. And I would not be shocked years from now, we're talking about a similar situation because, like you all say, you lose them how you got them. And both of these individuals have very interesting histories of marriages and divorces. And I'm not saying that a lot of people do. And there's nothing wrong with people that get divorced. There's nothing wrong with people where relationships don't work out. Where people fall short is how they separate themselves from the relationship and the marriage that they were currently in. I forgot what was said on Sex and the City, but it was the Post-it episode. She's like, why can't you just end a relationship with the respect that it deserves? Why? Because people are scared. People think with other parts of their bodies, sometimes more than their actual hearts and brains. Possible. Guys, as always, I know you have plenty of thoughts on this whole situation. It's been a while since we talked about it. So let's continue this conversation in the comment section. I hope you're all having a fantastic holiday season, and thanks for watching.